So the tweet reads like, "Don't ask me how, but if Trent cuts off those dreads and Klopp puts his glasses back on, everything would be fine." That's basically very, very true, because since Klopp uh, left those glasses, why did everything go wrong, bro?
It's a very difficult question. So for me, I think it's damn, like, I don't know, it's beyond me. Like, I don't understand what clearly is the issue. So let's talk about today's game first. Okay, so today was September 5th. No, September 5th then. Oh, it's already 1:30. Shit. But okay, today's game was basically, we played in Monu and we got wrecked 3-0. What happened in that game? Did you watch the game?
Yeah. I watched. I didn't watch the pre-match because I was actually excited for the game and I wanted to watch the pre-match, and I was like, "Let's go, start of a new vibe. Transfer window's done. Let's get going. Games are going to come in thick and fast." And then I watched the first 5 minutes, and I was convinced by the 10th minute that we were going to drop points this game. And one of the first talking points that I've noted down is like Matip, like first 10 minutes. What happened to Matip?
I don't know. That own goal was it was conjo tricky. It was, to be very honest, it was a tricky situation, but we could have easily avoided it. Even the second goal could have been easily avoided. Poor clearance, but instead of targeting those small mistakes that happened today, I'm just saying, basically as a team, the way we function, the way we used to function, the ideology that we had, we are not sticking to it at all because we don't have the players to facilitate that. Agreed. So we are trying to move into a new style of play. Are we not trying to move into a new style of play? Are we trying something that is not working out? Are we using the same, tactics with different players, substituting the old players? I don't understand. So now we don't have Fabinho in our midfield, who was a very important and integral part to our midfield. So how are we, this is my question because this is something I do not know. So how are we substituting his presence? Or are we shying away from the role he played?
So, in my opinion, from whatever I saw today, it looked like Bajcetic was given that role.
He played well.
He played well, but the issue, I feel, the biggest problem in this game was definitely the first 10 minutes, because we were just not able to. We didn't start. We basically were not awake. We did not know that the game started. Nobody knew that the game started, and the ball was with Wolves. Wolves controlled a lot of the ball. They spammed a lot of crosses in already quickly. As soon as they came, Neves was on the ball, keeping the ball. Neves is just beautiful at doing that. He keeps the ball. Nunes also is playing with him now. Matheus Nunes, supposed to come to us. He's also keeping the ball nicely. And so they kept the ball. And that's the biggest question. Why are they allowed to keep the ball like that without any kind of off-the-ball presence? What happened to the off-the-ball presence that Liverpool was so well lauded for?
It's damn difficult to see the drop that we are seeing. Like, it's like we've literally fallen off. Like, what position are we on the table? Check. 10th. How many points are we off top 4?
We are off top 4 by the same number of points that we are off bottom 3. So we are properly in the middle ground. This is balance.
We were almost going to win the quadruple. Putting everything aside, we were at least in contention for the greatest thing to have been accomplished by an English side. And given the fact that our performances were a little cautious during our finals. Like, if you noticed, both the finals that we played, both were 0-all. Went to penalties, and we won it there because we had a good line of heads. We had a good set of heads taking the penalties. Alisson is a very decent penalty keeper, and for both, actually not Alisson, no, both together.
No. I think one was Alisson, one was Keller.
Okay, one was Alisson, one was Keller. So we have good keepers, and Keller is also very, very good with penalties. So we were very cautious. But do you think that as a club, we fell off from there, from the pressure of the quadruple, saying that, okay, we won the Carabao Cup, we won the FA Cup, we couldn't have done anything else in the league because the league wasn't in our hands. We had done our part. We yet again, like another fucking story, conceded the first goal against Wolves and we fucking came back. So we had done our part. And I do not think we fared well, like poorly in the final of the Champions League. I thought we played well. And it was not a freak moment. I can clearly I know where it started. It started when Robertson decided to chase Modric. That's where we lost our shape and Valverde had that space. But like putting all of this, do you think that our downfall started from then? Or it stems from the fact that we let go of one important piece of our puzzle and the entire wage bill restructure kind of affected us? What affected us? Like, it has to be some mentality related thing. You need to understand that sports is very mentality related. So there is some mindset that is off. There's something off in that dressing room.
So I think they were going to win the quadruple, obviously.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted them to do that. They were about to do that, and then they suffered 2 back-to-back L's in Premier League and Champions League back-to-back. That was very hard for them. Okay, first of all, they are human beings. Okay, that's very hard for anybody to deal with because you're on the almost about to do everything and something that nobody's done in football. Okay, and you're not able to do that just because of 2 games that kind of didn't go your way. Like even the fact that Villa were in front when City, when they were playing City and they had to do that comeback and all that, it hit them quite hard. It's not a very difficult problem if there is some kind of squad refreshment. This is my main point, and it seems like people don't like this conversation that Liverpool are not buying players, that's why they're not good, because it's a very convenient excuse. But if you just notice the players that we've played for the last 4 years, it's been the same starting 11. And after a point, a starting 11 that has won everything, let's not take that away from them, that's won everything, they will need to be refreshed. Now, we are sentimental fans. We like Salah a lot. He's our best player of all time. We love Sadio. We love Virgil. We love these guys. But we are not ready to let go of them immediately. But ideally, we should have taken very sensible decisions to refresh their contracts, give them a little more stingy contracts, which we tried to do, I guess. But we were too scared of losing them that we gave them really hardcore contracts. Sadio did not want a hardcore contract. He bounced. And now we are just not able to sign other players because of God knows what reasons. But that squad refreshment had to be done, buddy. That was the biggest thing that needed to be done. We needed more players, bro. We needed fresh faces. We signed forwards, I understand that. But our midfield is the one that's been running the show from behind all this while, because they are the hard workers of the team. They are the tacklers. They keep running in behind. They stop attacks from getting created. They win the second balls all the time. They always keep the ball. They are the most hardworking piece of the puzzle in our team. Now you are not replacing the midfield, or you're basically not giving any kind of refreshment. You needed to have a Fabinho replacement so that Fabinho can get some time off. You needed to have a Henderson replacement so that Henderson could have some time off. So you had to manage those minutes. And I think that's where we I feel, mainly messed up. But why are we messing up there also is a big question. Like, what's going on with that? Is like Klopp too, does he love these players too much?
I think the entire fear of losing our core is the reason for our loss. We were so afraid of losing. Like, I remember the entire conversation last year was just what would happen to Liverpool, if they lose Salah. then Salah is really adamant about his new contract. Like, I'm taking nothing away from Salah. He was one of our best players. Like, he's the reason where we are and everything. I understand. But I feel like that entire fear and looking into mostly keeping the players that are, have been with us in this journey, we didn't look into other options too much. Like, definitely, the entire managing the minutes was definitely an important part, because like this is one of the points I'd written down also. It's players and cover options. City, they thrive because of their options. They're easily able to, like, sustain and be consistent. Overexertion becomes a very, very important and most talked about shortcoming of Klopp. We spoke about this a couple of years back, like when we just gone to the the Champions League final, and we lost it, and we had Van Dijk and everything, and we were getting Alisson and everything, and we were speaking about that entire video that we saw where in Borussia Dortmund in that season, he was just like his ideology of football and the way he thinks and the way he it's passionate. Definitely, he uses a lot of passion and everything, but not just physically. It can also get mentally very draining, very, very tiring. I feel the biggest issue of our team is the average age. I'm not pinpointing and blaming any players. We got players who were peaking at the same time. Like, we had Mane, who did his work, who did his job. We had Firmino, who was enabling everything. So everybody peaked and everybody fed off each other's energy. Okay. So now, given injuries also, we have a lot of injury options. But like, mostly the people who are injured who come back will just refresh our attack. Who is going to refresh our midfield?
Yeah. We are stuck in a big situation now. We are stuck in a situation where essentially whoever's left, that is Henderson, Fabinho, Bajcetic, Thiago, Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain to an extent,
And
Elliot, they all have to step up. They all have to step up with the help of the coaching team, because I think serious decisions on this shape of the team have to be taken, because I think 4 at the back is done for this team, because you're willing to take so many risks, and I don't want to digress too much. I'm just remembering too many names. Forgive me for that, all that bullshit. But Trent in right back is a glaring problem, bro. And I love him. Like, you know me, and you know how much I love him, and you know how much you know what my relationship with him is, and he's like literally my favorite player in this team. You ask me Salah, you ask me Sadio, you ask me Van Dijk, I'll say Trent, because he's my favorite player in this team. And I think he's been handled very poorly from Klopp. And there was a point where he was good at right back, and then there was a point where people noticed that there were issues with his right back positioning. There were issues with not his positioning, but his general inability to compete in a 1v1 situation. He just can't do it. He can't do it. Now, there's an argument saying that if you move to midfield, he'll still have to defend, etc. and etc. I agree. You still have to defend. He still has to be good at the 1v1. But there is someone behind him to cover for his mistakes. And right now, there's nobody behind him apart from Matip and the goalkeeper to cover for his mistakes. So the most creative person in this team needs to have the most freedom of creativity with the most amount of support. And I feel that has been mismanaged very badly. And I don't know whose decision was it to just continue with him at right back. At least there should have been a transition phase where he's just moving into a right mid-ish spot or something a little more forward, a right wing back positioning. Maybe put a 3 at the back and play him right wing back. I know you want the crosses deep. I know you want him to cross deep. I know you don't want him to be next to the box. You want the long balls. You want the counter-attacking opportunities. But at this point, he's costing too many of our goals. Direct goal involvements. Too many. because it's literally like not having a player at sometimes. So this is where like I'm beginning to like kind of get irritated with Klopp. Like he needs to like wake up with this situation, because I know he's the most creative person in this team, but he cannot be responsible for so many attacks, bro. Every team comes to us and their only plan is to overload that left hand side. Left hand side overload punch, you have to do it. There's no chance. Trent is playing there. We need two people on him. To just keep spamming the ball at that point. We know he'll get caught. That's so disastrous for the team, bro. If he's in midfield at least, they can't keep overloading him in midfield all the time. That's not a direct out ball. They're not going to get a goal-threatening opportunity from there. This is a direct goal-threatening opportunity. Chumma on long ball on that side. So that mismanagement I'm like really not a big fan of. And yeah.
Becomes very difficult. I don't know how they're not seeing it. Are they not seeing it? Or what is the issue? That is, okay, definitely to play someone out of position, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of, training, and it'll be different for him to play midfield. So making him play a direct midfield role is going to be difficult. So if we are going to stick to the same system, then they have to play Trent in the right back position right now, because he's not going to adapt quickly. And as you said, they don't want him near the box. They want him to be near the half line when he's like kind of helping us with transition. And one of the more important aspects of Trent is his change of side. He changes sides very peacefully, very effortlessly, and he kind of enables that entire, that change in the space of attack. And we have a solid hard worker on the left side, Robertson, who also we need to talk about in a while. But speaking about this and keeping this into consideration, the only way for us to come out of this rut is what you said. We need to come out of the entire style of play that we use.
We need to become a bit conservative. Let's just be honest. We have to go back to a 4-4-2 and spam long balls. It's time for that. We have Nunes who can make his runs. Play Salah as striker with him.
But today he should have scored that 10 chance, dude.
Definitely. I don't want to blame him too much.
I don't want to blame
his
him.
First season, bro.
I
don't like judging any player on his first season.
No, bro, and it's difficult. Like definitely, even a lot of people said, then why did you blame Timo? So I had my fair share of humor around Timo, but that also stems from the fact that I hate Chelsea, bro. Okay, so people don't understand. People try to tell me, so that's why I kind of get all the Nunes stick, because they don't like us. We were nobodies. When we were in school, we had an excruciating period of turmoil, bro. It was so poor that entire period, and everybody around you was a United fan. It also stems from a lot of hate towards Liverpool, but it's not not evident. It is definitely evident that he's not having a great time. And there are certain chances, for example, the last game, I think we played Brighton, and he beats the keeper, and then he tries to put it in and gets cleared off the line. Something as simple as that. It's usually a striker's paradise. So right now, I clearly understand that he lacks confidence, and Salah is not helping him. But let's be damn honest. We have a proper lack of confidence in our attack, bro. If anybody sits and blames Gakpo, they have no idea how this sport works. Okay, because you can't blame him, bro. The attack is already so out of sync. The three of them do not know what's happening. They don't understand what is to be done. I'm not saying that we were always structured to we always had that Bobby doing his stuff and Mane doing his stuff and everything, but it benefited each other. And the entire fact is that when I like Salah a lot because he enabled Mane a lot. People say that Mane did all the dog work and he enabled Salah, but in the big games when Salah was full, people were on Salah all the time, making sure he's not given any space, Mane would thrive. Mane and Bobby would have fun. So all of this are definitely issues. So change of formation is very important for us, is what I feel, because the defense line is definitely an issue. Okay, so now let us speak about a very simple topic known as cover options. Okay, so now let's go to our defense line. So centre backs, we have a pool. I'm saying let go of the injuries right now. I'm just saying logically, like, because we're already in this situation, what was the thinking behind, okay, let's just go for this one signing? Okay, leave the financial aspects out of it. Like, as a strategical, proper forefront, how did they think that the options and the players we had with the cover options, letting go of the injuries, would be okay to compete at this level? If someone asks me right now, also Klopp in, Klopp out, I'll say Klopp in. As a club, we've not been someone who'll just poach managers. Like, we like to give our time. We are a little bit old school. We are going to give him time. You need to understand that he's a legend. He's done something for us that nobody could do for a really long time, and we were literally champions of Europe, champions of England, champions of world. So, and I am literally talking to you not even a year past when we were going for, like, we were going to be history makers, dude. Like, it's not even been a year. That's what irritates me the most. So now, looking at our back four, left back options, we have Simikas and Robertson. So what is the situation? Are they enough? Are they good? Who to play amongst the two of them?
I think Robertson had a good game because Robertson is relentless, and I love that about him. He's unlike Trent, like, he's very relentless and he's just on it all the time in terms of just his work rate. Trent does not have good work rate, so that's one thing that separates Robertson from Trent. That's why I'd keep Robertson for now, and I think he's a good leader. He talks a lot. That's why I really like him. I feel like, there's a big issue with the way we've done our cover options, basically, and it's a hard thing to swallow because it, last year we were so flying and all these things. But it's tough, and I think we'll have to kind of accept that, Klopp kind of overworks his players. He kind of loves his players a lot, and he doesn't like changing them a lot. That's one thing about Klopp. He's a very personal kind of guy like that. Okay, he's not ruthless. We kind of have to accept that. Klopp is Klopp, bro. He's a guy who's not ruthless. He loves Hendo. He loves those guys. He loves Milner. He loves Fabinho. He loves these guys, and he'll keep playing them till they hit their form. He's that kind of guy. He doesn't like getting another guy and say, you fuck off now. I want to play this other guy and you're ass right now. He'll give the youth an opportunity because he'll know. Now he knows that Fabinho is not in good form. Brother, you sit down for some time, let Bajcetic play. You're not having a good time. He does that. But he'll not buy someone and treat that person like that. He'll not do that. We know that. So I think it's a waiting game for us now because we can't sign anybody. So let's forget about these options, cover options and all. Right now, I'd rather just be with who we are. I think, it's a matter of time till we hit a good run of form. It's not going to be like this. I'm hoping, of course. But
You think Jota will change something?
definitely. People like Bobby coming back, people like Jota coming back, people like Virgil coming back changes a lot of things. So we have to be patient, and it's time for the players to give their life for the manager. Basically, like, we are asking for one last time. The players have to see what more can we do this season, bro. So it's basically about not getting relegated at this point, and I don't know. Europe is very tough. Madrid will always slap us. That's a little difficult to expect, but it will be nice to have a good night in Anfield. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
It will be nice to have another good European night at Anfield. That's something that will be is really required in the club right now, especially
in terms of motivation.
In terms
definitely.
of motivation, it's really important that the supporters in Anfield are on it from now on, because if they don't turn up and if they start booing and belting the players, then it's very
No. See, now is definitely the time for us to be with our clubs.
I've told you about this. Like, we have players who are 19, 20, 21 who are just learning how to play in the Premier League, and then the other end of the spectrum is we have players who have done and dusted it, and they have won everything. So we had to fix our squad. We have not done that squad. So the larger question is, how are we going to fix the squad? Because we are in pure rebuild territory at this point. We need to rebuild. There's no more, there's no more just getting stopgaps. We have to rebuild. This is a pure rebuild time. So that is the bigger question. Like in the summer, that has to be answered with the sale of the club. I think that's a big change that's going to happen, and it could it could do anything to our club. It could break our club. It could make our club. It's a big thing, bro. The sale is definitely a big thing. We need owners who are willing to spend in this market, because see, bro, you will not be able to compete with United, Arsenal, Chelsea, and all if they are willing to spend if they are willing to spend an average of 80 million a year, and you're willing to not spend that much. It's tough. It's very tough. You have to refresh the squad. It's not about getting heavy players, bro. It's not about getting Jude Bellingham. It's not about getting Mbappe. It's about refreshing the squad. Just getting someone like Moises Caicedo, he'll automatically have the motivation to prove it for the fans and everybody that he's a good player. People like Henderson and the rest of them, they already know that this is the club they are playing for. They've played for many years. The spot is locked in. You need to add motivation into the squad, macha. They won everything, okay? Aram say they won everything. Now there's no motivation in some players, bro. That drive is not there. That you have to refresh by either challenging their position or getting in fresh people. That new motivation has to come in. Alex Ferguson used to do this crazy thing where he'll quickly refresh the squad. He'll refresh the coaching staff also. So all his assistant managers also he'll refresh. He'll get new ones. Pep is really beautiful at this. Cancelo, he got irritated, he sent him off. Straight up. So Klopp lacks that, bro. And FSG lacked that. That refreshing had to be done gradually
and this Klopp's fascination with playing the underdog card is too hectic. He's always wanted to do that.
TUFF RA.
Proper tough.
TUFF RA. So it's a season of patience for us, basically.
Yeah.
Lot of patience, a lot of supporting the club.
Definitely.
It's a grindy point. And I love that about being a Liverpool fan, because it's not a fascination of being an underdog, bro. It's all, an underdog story is always better. Are you agreeing or disagreeing?
No, definitely.
See, bro, macha, for 30 years we didn't win the league. We are one of the few fans to fucking watch us win the league. Okay, so I feel this is the beginning of a really good time for the club. Klopp came in and has changed a lot of things about the club. We have gone to that elite level of European football after 30 years. After 30 years, we are back on that. We're consistently challenging. All that is nice. Now, it's about getting the right new players left, change the rebuild, refresh the squad, get a new manager in, set up the right new manager in. Klopp needs to be responsible for that. He should know who's exactly coming after he's done. And he should be there. That's why Klopp out and all is tough, because he has to be a part of that transition. He needs to decide who's the next manager for this club. And that will be game changing, I feel, once we start spending a bit. If you get Qatar, then I don't know. Then it's a very different ball game. But I'm saying, even if we get one random ass owner who's just willing to spend like 100 million a year, that's all we need.
This entire Michael Edwards, that entire era, we need to bring back, bro. We need to get our Salahs and Manes, and I'm not saying
I don't want an Mbappe.
Fuck the Mbappes, fuck the Haalands, fuck the everybody's. I'm saying fuck the 80 million, 90 million signings, bro. Just pick some beasts from somewhere and just let them play, bro. Let them vibe. And Klopp is a great manager, bro. You can thrive.
He makes really average players really good.
Exactly.
That's his speciality, bro.
Macha, so I'll tell you something. So in we what we consider a well-oiled machine, every part of that machine has a prerequisite and a set duty that you're supposed to do. So I'm saying we should look at the aspect. where we kind of realize that there are certain prerequisites and certain parts that are rusty, and we need to get new parts that can provide us their quality and can fulfill those duties. It's very simple. So we need to start looking at that option instead of looking at the big names. Like as soon as someone speaks about, oh, we need a DM man, we need someone, they're like, hey, we need to get Declan Rice. Okay, Declan Rice is awesome. I'm not taking away the fact that
find the
he's
next
a
Declan Rice.
world class player. But Declan Rice is on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you telling me that in this entire planet there's only one Declan Rice, there's only one Jude Bellingham, there's only one Caicedo? There are so many players, bro. Like I'm telling you, all these proper PL tax, bro. Premier League tax. To port some guy from Bournemouth, Newcastle. Much a genie we got from relegated Newcastle. We got Robertson for 5 or 6 million from Hull. When Robertson came, I remember the other people making fun of us. Who is he today? Today he's won everything there is to win in club football. Did you ever think that Robertson in his life would have thought that buddy from Hull, at 24, I'll move to Liverpool and I'll fucking rule it for a couple of seasons? So that's what I'm trying to say. So my entire thing is that let us not match the market's ideology. I do not understand. I'll be damn honest. I do not understand the Gakpo signing. That 48 million could have been spent anywhere else. I understand that we do not have a fucking front three to play, and we would have to start Chamberlain, Nunes, Salah against Madrid. But I just thought we could have spent that elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that was a big mistake from the club. Yeah, that I think it's very.
How much did we spend?
45.
Two championship warriors.
Yeah, that's all we needed.
Warriors. I'm telling you, Macha, we need to induce. I don't know how to explain this. People keep saying, bro, you don't play that kind of football, but we need to induce a Cam style of play, bro. We need one playmaking like Cam. We need to play Cam role, bro. See, I'm saying no, that entire 1 DM, 2 do whatever vibes is nice. I'm not saying no, it's good, it's crazy, it's worked for us all this while. But I'm saying put 2 holding beasts who can support our fullbacks on either side.
Just and invert the triangle.
Yeah, invert the triangle, exactly. Like give 2 beasts. Much of when Fabinho and like was in his peak and Trent was thriving was because Fabinho was in his peak. Because Fabinho will cover that right back position for us. Hendo will cover that position for us. The way we played facilitated each other.
I think we're going back to that. It's 4-4-2 era. I think, there's no other option.
We don't have enough. You get slapped.
Yeah. There's no other option.
You get slapped. But towards the end of the day, with everything that we spoke about today and everything that we went through and all the Liverpool fans went through in the world, I can only say one thing, bro. Tough, ra.
Tough, ra.
Tough, ra.
Very tough.